What's up, everybody? I'm Jack Tyler. I'm here on 34 Questions. Tune into my episode. Great discussion, great conversation, great impact. Be sure to check it out. See you over there.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. Tonight I have a very special guest. Mr. Jack Tyler is in the building. How you doing, Jack?
What's up? No, I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited for this conversation. I'm excited for what we're gonna talk about. No matter where it goes, I'm ready.
For sure, man.
I want to explore today.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, I already appreciate the energy you bring in. You know, I feel like you're pretty open-minded. You're ready to share a story, and definitely appreciate it. I know it's not easy for everybody to do so, so thank you for coming on and being open.
Yeah, of course.
For sure. For the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the show, I'm your host, 34. The format of the show is we do a few intro questions, some warm-up questions to set the tone, and then we'll jump into the main portion. Sound good to you, Jack?
Sounds great to me.
All right, man. Well, my very first question for you is, how have you been? It's been a crazy year. You doing well? You going through it? How you been, man?
Oh, man. This year has been crazy. Lately, I've been good. I've been up. For the course of that whole last year, I was down, but honestly, I think I've learned a lot. So that's kind of the main reason I've been up, because there's just a lot of trials and storms that I had to get through to get where I am right now.
Sure.
But I really do. I see purpose in what I'm doing right now. Like you said, I've been doing some music. I mean, my main goal right now is just to be an impact. Impact the people in my generation. I mean, it doesn't even have to be in my generation, really. Anybody that I can impact is going to be a big deal to me.
For sure.
But that's where I am right now, just trying to find ways to impact.
I got you. So, what do you think is one of the greatest lessons you learned, or the bit more important lessons you've learned over the past year or so?
I would say just trusting in God's plan, because there's so many times I've kind of been like in my own head about things, trying to control situations, and it's like, most of the time I can't control situations, and I just gotta trust in God, knowing that it's all gonna work out for me, because He don't give me nothing I can't handle. So I mean, and that's the biggest thing that I've had to understand. But it's the greatest lesson that I've learned, because it spoke purpose into what I was doing. Because if I couldn't understand that as a whole, knowing that I'm not capable of doing everything on my own, knowing that there are times when I need to reach out, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be capable of saying, hey, I'm vulnerable, just like everybody else. And, I'm not perfect. I'm a flawed human being.
I feel.
But, I mean, having that understanding is the most important part of getting the lesson. So.
For sure. You mentioned a little bit about your music. Is that your main hustle right now? It seems like it through your social media and everything. Well, how's that?
It's a side thing, really. I mean, right now I'm in college. I'm going for graphic design. I'm just working a job at Walmart, getting by, just trying to make my way through the college. And really, I mean, the music, yeah, it has started to become more of a main focus, but it's still at the current state it is a side thing. Just kind of my way of venting through my music and just really getting my art out there. Just being heard by people, and being able to be an impact, whether or not it's for money or anything like that. Like, if people are feeling it, then they're feeling it. Like, that's good enough for me. But yeah, no. I mean, I would hope one day that I could actually make it my main thing, because that would be amazing. I mean, that's a dream. That's definitely the dream and the goal that I would like to achieve in the coming years after college. So using my graphic design and all the business knowledge that I get from that, being able to got into the music knowledge and the music, just all that. So yeah,
So
I mean, I would hope for it to be my main.
I got you. So it sounds like you would be bringing in the graphic artist part of yourself and the musical side together, right? Is that?
Yeah. It's all art. So
Yeah.
all creative, intuition, all that stuff.
So what's your vision for that path? Like, where would you like your art and, well, both of your art to take you?
Well, my vision, like I said, my biggest thing is impact. So down the road, I would hope that through my art, I can, number one, help point other people to God, because I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian artist, so like my main goal is like helping people know that there's a God out there that really loves them and really strives to be have a relationship with them. Because I know that where I was versus where I am, the big difference was having that relationship and that impact that it had. So that's my main goal, is to show people through my art, through my journey, that that was a huge thing for me, and it can be a huge thing for them, if they really feel it, if they really resonate with it. Um, it's huge, and that's my goal. That's my vision.
I got you. When I've heard some of your music, it seems like you have a particular flow. What would you say have been your influences on that flow?
Man, I've had a lot of influences. I guess what I tell a lot of people is, I mean, I take influence from a lot of the Christian hip hop artists, different genres like that. My content started off like with like NF. He was a huge thing for me because when I was going through some tough times, his music just really resonated with me. He's kind of my biggest influence, with the whole purpose and the impact of it. But then I also took influence from other artists like No Big Deal. I really like his flow, so I like the way he just kind of like keeps it all going. But there's so many. I like to try to just practice all kinds of different things. But the stuff I put out there is more like lo-fi and like No Big Deal kind of flowy like that, but with the NF content. So.
Okay, you said NF. That the artist name. What's you know what that stands for? Just so when I look it up, I know.
Nathan. I don't want to butcher his last name.
Oh, okay.
But Nathan Feuerstein or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, all right, for sure. Right on. Cool. We made it to. I got a little icebreaker for you. It's an icebreaker portion. It's a one-word spelling bee. You up for it, or you want to pass?
Oh, man. Dude, I was a champion speller when I was younger.
All right, for sure.
So we gonna see how it goes.
And disclaimer, just want to know if you've seen any previous episodes, and if you haven't, it's good. It's cool, so I know which word I can use. Have you seen any previous?
I didn't. I was skimming over one before this thing, so I get a good idea. But I didn't get to the spelling portion. So, I mean, anything you give me, it'll work.
I got you, man. All right. So, your word is liaison.
Liaison. Oh man, I had it and then I lost it.
Take your time.
All I'm thinking right now.
No pressure.
I'm just sounding it out right now in my head because I'm like, it's probably less complicated than I'm putting it. I haven't been a speller in a couple of years, so this pressure is like it's familiar.
I got you.
But it feels new. So liaison. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a jab at it.
Go for it. You got two, so you could lock in two. So you do first
I can
time.
spell it. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go with L I A S O N.
You missing one letter, man. Right in the
one letter.
Right in the middle of those 6 letters. There's a 7th letter right in the middle.
It's another I after the A.
Say it all together. Say it all together.
Liaison.
Yeah, man. Now you got it right.
I was doubting myself. That was the first thing I thought of, but I was like, that looks weird in my head. 2 I's on either side of the A.
Nah, it's a hard word, man. Not. I would say it's probably like a 15% success rate right now amongst all the guests. So you're part of that 15%. Congrats. You will be invited back to my spelling bee episode of 34 questions with all the other guests who have gotten it right. It's gonna be hard to get it all together, but if I can make it happen, you definitely be invited to get back.
I'm gonna read a dictionary before
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should give you guys a heads up, like a list of words to study, but I don't know. I gotta figure out the logistics and just the flow of everything.
You're the one that has to put that list together. I mean, all I gotta do is read it.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into some more warm-up questions. This next one is, what would you like the audience to know about you?
What would I like the audience to know about me? Well, let's see. I want them to know that I'm not perfect. I want them to know that I could care less about being famous. Because really, that's more thinking about it in my own like self-preservation, and I don't really like that. Like, that's never been a thing that I've been into. So I really like artists that are more about like a greater purpose in themselves. And, everything comes along with it as you go, but your intended goal is not just get big and stay big and stay growing. No, my intentions are more for the people in the audience. The people in the audience are the people that I want to have an effect. Those are the people that I care about, because I know, because I've had so many conversations with so many different people, and you just don't know anything about people until you really talk to them. Like this right here, this conversation we're having. I mean, you may hear something out of me that I don't just straight up tell somebody until I actually have a conversation with them. I mean, this is what it's all about, is getting to know people. Because miscommunications and misunderstandings come from assumptions, and I don't want anybody to have any assumptions about me. I just want people to know that the type of person I am is one who wants to understand, one who wants to make an impact, and one who doesn't care about self-preservation as much as he does about the people around him.
I got you, man. I highly agree. As you can probably tell from this whole creation of this podcast, it's all about, for me, it's those one-on-one conversations. I can give you my full attention. I can help people feel heard. So, yeah, that's. I used to try to make an impact. You don't know this about me. For the folks out there, it's the first time we've ever met. So, yeah, I try to make an impact with my music before. It got a little too wrapped up into my ego, and also I'm not a good self-promoter. I don't know if that's how you feel about yourself and your music, but I feel like to make it in the game nowadays, you kind of have to be able to promote yourself, tell and kind of show that you're better than everybody else. I'm not that kind of person at all. So
it's a competitive thing. Like hip hop is a competitive sport.
Yeah, man.
There are two approaches that you can take with it. You can take it as you're competing to get yourself on a pedestal, or you're competing to get your art on a pedestal. There is a difference. Because the first one is just you as a person trying to level up. And then the second one is you're trying to grow your message. So
I like that. Yeah.
There's a difference. One's vertical and one's horizontal.
So what's your message?
What is my message? my message is there's a purpose in every storm. There is a reason for every trial. There is a refinement in every fire. Because when you go through tough times, you're going to come out stronger. You're going to come out with knowledge you didn't have before you entered that storm. And as long as you're capable of pushing through, you're going to be better off for it. So, because I've been through a lot of different storms, a lot of different types of storms, just a lot of things that are just really, I mean, very detailed situations that I can go over, but it would take me way longer than this episode is supposed to go. So
I got you.
In essence, I've been through so many times where I doubted myself and I doubted the things that I was capable of. But once I realized that there was a purpose in why I did go through something, like something that built my patience, or something that taught me how to love, or something that really just showed me that I was strong enough to get through something.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful, and that's a powerful message that you can share with other people that may not be all the way through their storms. Because a lot of the people out in the world, they're in the middle of a storm, and some may not recognize it, some may push it to the side, some may try to ignore it, escape the reality that exists, instead of relating to the one that they resist. No, what I know, I posted this. This is one of my quotes, but it's one of my favorite ones. It was, let me get it right. People tend to escape from the reality that they resist instead of relate to the reality that exists.
Say that one more time.
I said people tend to escape from the reality that they tend to resist instead of relating to the reality that exists.
I got you.
A lot of people, they go through painful times and they go through storms, and they just want to sit underneath their tent. They want to pitch their tent right in the middle of that storm. And they just want to sit there and, they just want to camp out right there. They don't want to move any further. And that's just human. That's how we work. That's where our thought process goes. But when you get up and you get into the sunshine on the other side, you realize that it wasn't that hard. I mean, you made it through. You were capable. So, I mean, that's the huge message that I want to portray to other people that are in the middle of their storm. It's cliche, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, like, I don't think people fully grasp that concept in today's world. Everybody just kind of sits right where they are and says they're growing, but they're just, yeah.
I was gonna say, you think people are they recognize the storm, or they're still resisting?
I don't think they recognize it, and I think that's because we lack the ability to communicate with other people. People don't talk about things very much, so they kind of keep it inside, and then they don't recognize that they're in the middle of a storm because they haven't had any sort of talk with anybody else about it to realize that, oh, I'm in the middle of something, and maybe I should be moving forward. A lot of people just kind of tend to keep it to themselves, and they just, like I said, pitch their tent right there.
No, I feel you, man. I would say I've done that, and I was pitching my tent for about 10 years before I started doing something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no doubt.
And I mean, like I said, it ain't a bad thing, but it's human. It's just how we respond to certain things. But I think that's what I want to get across, is that you don't have to pitch your tent in the middle of the storm, because you can as a person get through it with the help of others, with the hope and trusting in God and knowing that He has a plan for that whole journey. So.
For sure. The next question is, if someone were to pay you a tribute, how would you like to be honored? So if I was gonna tell myself I'm gonna honor Jack Tyler in some way, how could I do that?
Oh man, see, this is something I never thought about because just like being honored is, I always hate talking about myself, like in a way to where I'm like saying like I want this to be something about me. But
Yeah,
I guess the biggest thing is, I would just want people to know the efforts that I put in on my journeys. I wouldn't want to just be another person who walked through life with a mask on, pretending that everything was okay. I would want people to know that I put in my best effort and I showed people that I was willing to be vulnerable in order to help uplift other people. So I guess in order to honor that, just like sharing the message that I'm trying to portray.
I got you. The last question in the warm-up is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
We're gonna go with the probably a 5 or 6. Just because I know I could feel confident that I know myself, but I'm only 21. I got a lot of years. I mean, just in the past 3 years, I've learned a million new things about myself and who I am as a person. I mean, I didn't even start the music stuff like seriously. I mean, like I was writing stuff for random stuff throughout high school, but I didn't actually start writing things until I went through some stuff, and that was only a year and a half ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Put it together, and then I just it just snowballed after that, and I started just doing it all the time. It's been like a therapy for me. So really, I don't think that I know myself as well as I could say that I do. That's why I put myself at a 5 or 6, because I do know myself probably better than a lot of people know themselves, but I don't know myself to the full potential.
I got you.
There's a lot that I can learn in the coming years, and I hope that I get the chance to learn. I hope they get the opportunities to realize more about myself.
For sure. I mean, I think the journey of learning ourselves is lifelong, and it changes depending on what life stage we're in. The good times, we know ourselves the most. The bad times, we probably know ourselves the least. And yeah, it just fluctuates, man. That's just my opinion. But I feel you. And a follow-up to that is, what would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
My favorite thing about my personality? Being capable to talk to all kinds of people. I don't care what kind of person they are. I'm gonna find a way to open them up. Like they're gonna have to talk. Like if I start talking to somebody and they're quiet, I guarantee they're gonna be yelling by the end of the conversation. Like, that's my goal. I think I asked somebody the other day. I kind of asked them what they thought I was, because there's extroverts and there's introverts. They said I was an extroverted introvert because like starting up conversations is probably a big thing that I want to work on. That's why the broad social media approach is my best way, because I'm not really focusing on an individual per se all the time. But when I do meet an individual, and I grow comfortable pretty quick when I'm having a conversation with them. I can talk about anything and everything. So, and I love that about my personality. My communication teachers always told me that I'm a great communicator. And, that's a talent, I think, because a lot of people can't communicate that well. For different reasons, obviously. But I'm just glad that I have the ability to communicate my feelings, communicate my thoughts, being able to put them into words that people understand and resonate with. So,
For sure. Was that something you learned early about yourself, or a little later in life?
Like communication.
Yeah, like that it's just easy. It comes easy for you,
Oh,
and then you're like, oh wait, why doesn't everybody kind of like do what I do?
No, yeah. So I don't know. It happened in parts. So like in middle school, I think I was very introverted, but then I went into high school, and I grew a little more extroverted because we had a smaller school. So less people I had to actually learn names for. So and then I just like I made a lot of friends in high school, and we were always talking. The teachers were like, but we were
Yeah.
no, but like, and then once I went through some stuff, and got through that stuff, I started talking to people on like a deeper level, and I think that kind of helped me with my approaches, because I started out as always joking, and then I went into more of a deeper level of communication. So I'm good at that ice breaking into deep thought conversation technique. So I can make somebody laugh, and then I can make somebody cry.
I got you.
Tears of joy. Tears of real joy.
Yeah. No doubt. Cool, man. Well, thank you for telling your story. Thank you for opening up. I appreciate the quality answers as well. You going real deep into it.
I mean, quality over quantity.
You already know. All right, so we made it to the main portion of the interview where you start choosing numbers. I don't know if you've seen the sheet of questions. I've been playing with the format a little bit. So at this point, there's 3 levels, A, B, and C. A being the hardest, like just questions that I think people would have the hardest time answering. And then basically hard, medium, easy, A, B, C. And each level has 1 through 34 questions, basically. So what I need from you is just to say like A5, B12, C10, whichever question you want to go for.
Bingo.
All right. Yeah. But yeah, man. Shoot me your first number.
All right. Which one was the easy one?
C something.
C?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go C7.
C7.
Yeah.
What change would you like to see in the world?
What change would I? Oh, this is a great question. Because I think about the world as a whole all the time. I think the biggest change I would want to see in the world is for the world as a whole to have a better understanding of of how the world works, because people don't understand how the world works. Not when you look at it from the media's point of view or anything like that. When you look at it from the point of view of social media or news or stuff like that, you get a perspective from those people. I would want to see in the world as a whole people seeking to achieve a new perspective, a perspective that they are trying to find themselves, rather than looking to all these higher medias and everything else. They say do your own research when you talk about stuff, or before you go and start talking about stuff. And I believe that's a great thing to do. Do I think that everybody in the world does it? No, I don't. And I think that's the reason we have so many miscommunications. I think that's the reason we have so many unfortunate circumstances where people are just taking sides on everything, and it's so divided. I want to see the world united.
I got you.
I want to see people uplifting each other and embracing each other rather than tearing each other down and making assumptions based on the labels that we put on ourselves. I think labels are a powerful thing, because I was talking to somebody the other day I was just talking about like in the church. I mean, we have denominations, right? So like Catholic, we have I don't even know them, but Catholic the biggest one. I'm apostolic. Pentecostal. You got Lutheran. Just all these different denominations. And the second you hear somebody say what denomination they are in Christianity, then you automatically you have an assumption based on what you know from that label, right? Now take it on another level, where it's just a type of person, like those typical cliche high school labels that people give. So you got the cheerleaders, you got the jocks, you got the nerds, you got the I got the teachers that would be the same as the nerds. No.
Yeah. I mean, you got the skaters, you got the
yeah, exactly. And those are all labels, and those are labels that we use to group people and to make those assumptions, stereotypes about those people. We as a world cannot be united if we continue to base our assumptions on those labels. And that's just a human thing. Once again, I want to see people striving to seek better understanding in the perspectives that other people have, so that we can actually get closer to a place of united harmony. Like,
yeah, man.
All the pain comes from division and miscommunication. So, yeah.
Do you think it's possible, man? Because, I mean, I too want the world to be united and kind of be on the same page when it comes to, I guess, taking care of humanity in our society. But I feel like there's just too many different ways of thought,
Yeah. Do I think it's possible? Probably not. That's just my honest opinion. But would I want it? I mean, the question was, what would I want?
Yeah. I got you. I'm just wondering. Yeah.
But no, do I think it's possible? I don't think so. But is this world going to be here forever? No. I mean, eventually, planet Earth is going to be gone.
Yeah.
But we want to preserve it as long as we can.
We ain't helping that much right now.
but the reality is, like everything's going crazy. Like, there's so many things happening in the world today that are it's just a domino effect. Like, everything is just falling left and right, and things are changing constantly, and it's like it's almost to a point where things change, something changes every day, and you can't keep up.
Yeah.
And it divides us because some people are left in the dark about it, and then they're too late to get on to the same perspective as other people. And so that's why I don't think it's possible for us all to have that ability to seek the perspective of everybody else, because we're too busy trying to understand our perspective. Everybody's trying to focus on the perspective that they're trying to formulate from everything that's changing in the world. I mean, there's barely a constant anymore.
I feel, yeah. What was your denomination again? You had mentioned it, but
I'm apostolic.
How is that different from, I guess, I was raised Catholic, so I'm not. Drop some knowledge on me. Like, how is our denominations a little different?
All right, so I mean, I don't know a ton about like the way the Catholic service goes, because I've never been. But I mean, from what I've heard and what I've seen on portrayals and videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but compared to it, I would say, like, as apostolics in our services and the way we go through life, number one, we believe in Jesus is God. We believe that Jesus is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Just like He is all three of those. Basically, the big thing there is there's a verse that says is baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. A lot of people will say that is um, the names are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, but we recognize that those are titles, and the name is Jesus.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's where we kind of get it, and then there's like a bunch of verses that kind of connect all three into saying that they're all the same. Like, if A equals B, then B equals C, and then A equals C. Then they're all the same.
I gotcha.
But that's the core state of that one God, and then we let loose in service, man. we ain't ashamed to go ahead and just praise him and worship him in every way we can. I mean, we had service today. Man, it's powerful. It's powerful when you're willing to, get up and move and dance and just really just let it all out and be honest in your worship, because he's there and he's listening. And I don't know how it works in other denominations. Like I said, I'm not big, but I know that some places, it's pretty quiet in church. I don't know if that's how it is in Catholic church, but
yeah, it can be.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you guys, I don't know if you guys did it, but like, they'd have like song books. Or is that just an old time thing?
Nah, I mean, the last time I've been to church, we still got those phone books. You talking about the books with the songs and the stories? Yeah. That's hilarious. I never heard people call them phone books, but it makes sense.
I said song book.
Oh, dude! I thought you said phone book, and I'm all like, wow, that's hilarious.
I ain't seen one of those or a phone book in the same time.
Yeah, the song book.
Our church has them, but we hold doors open. No, and we're just, but it's so awesome, like, with our church and everything, because we're so diverse too. Like, it's so amazing. We have this service every year called Going Global, and it's essentially we have a Hispanic church, we have an Asian church, we have the English service. I think we have an African service. We've got so many different cultures, and they have their own services. And so on Going Global, on that service, everybody comes in, and we have translators translating the message that the preacher's preaching, and it's just like everybody comes together. We bring all the flags in, and it's amazing. It's from, I don't know if many churches have done, but it's so amazing to see so many different cultures coming together like that within the church. Like, a lot of people, they make assumptions that, like, from the outside, they make assumptions about the church, saying that, they're very one-sided, or, like, they keep to themselves. But really, I mean, from my perspective, from the church that I've gone to, we really strive to be, number one, diverse, because everybody is a person. It don't matter the cultural background or anything like that. We're all people. We're all God's children. I mean, He made us all perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
So, like, and so that that's just one of the amazing times that we have in service. But we make a big deal about it. It's a huge thing. Like, and our music director, he's awesome. He's amazing. I mean, we do all kinds of different types of songs, different types of music. So it's really just, we'll do anything and everything that's out there. And so I love it. I actually sing there at my church. So.
Oh snap! All right.
I've been singing since I was in the kids choir when I was like 5. I mean, I've been in the music there forever. The writing didn't come until later on.
Gotcha. Are you gonna be incorporating that singing into your music anytime, or you keep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will, because I think I'm just waiting until I can get actual good mixing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I just started. My mixes are crazy, and my mic, I'll probably get a new mic at some point that can really help with that, new software, stuff like that.
That's smart. Wait for the mixing.
But yeah, no. So that was the big difference there for our denomination is we let it all loose, and one God. Those are the big things that are really stuff that we focus on.
For sure.
Try to be honest in our worship.
Would you say you're religious or more religious, more spiritual, or both? Is there a difference? Is there to you?
Yeah, I would say, really, I'm still on a journey on both of those paths.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't say that I'm more of one or the other. I would say it's similar, but not where it could be, because I'm still growing. I'd say there's a lot of times where I stumble and fall, and I recognize that, and I know God is right there. He's picking me up every time I do, and I strive to be closer to Him. That's the ultimate thing, and I strive to take those values into account as I'm growing. But the word religious, I guess, kind of throws me off sometimes, because a lot of people talk about like religion is different than a relationship with God, and it is. When you have a relationship with God, that is between you and God. When you have religion, it's more about the technicalities. It's more about the environment that you are trying to put yourself in. And it's more organized, I would say. Now, there is a balance between the two that you can have, but I think maybe some churches, they focus more on the organization. Other churches focus more on the relationship. And the ones that focus on the relationship, I think those have a little bit more impact, because that's really the ultimate goal, is to form a relationship. People, our pastor just preached a message just a couple weeks back saying, people have two voids that they're born with. So one void is filled by other people, and the other void is filled by God. Because there is a void that is filled by fellowship with others. But then there's also the void that can't be filled by others or other things. And that's where God comes in, because God is the one ultimately in that point that can really show you who you are, and really just be there in those moments where you feel like there is nobody else. So I think the relationship with God is just as important as the relationship with the people. The organization aspect in religion is, I would say, not important, but it's got a lot of fine lines.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Did you have anything else to add to that?
No.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I've got it pretty much on the plate there.
No doubt. Go ahead and throw me. Oh, just a heads up. We've been breezing through this conversation, man. I don't know if you noticed, but we have about 10-15 minutes left in the podcast. And yeah. It's all good. I appreciate, like you said, quality over quantity. And I think it's been a great conversation. I hope you're having fun as well.
Oh, of course, dude. I'm a long-winded person. I probably could have told you. You could have been like 2 hours special. And we still would have went overtime. So
Nah, man, we'll get you back then. If we run out, I'm always happy for people to come and keep sharing their story and perspective. So we'll make that happen. All right, man. Throw me another number.
All right. Let's just go with a hard question.
Okay.
Just in case I don't get to a third one. Before we have to end it up. But so let's go A. We're gonna go A21.
A21.
Yeah.
This one is what do you pray for?
What do I pray for? I pray for understanding. I pray for the capability and the strength to get through every day. I pray for the capability and the understanding to know that the end of the road is there. I just have to keep pushing. I mean, this all flows into what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. That's what I pray for. I pray, God, just show me the way. And I know that He can make a way out of no way. We sang that song today. You made a way. Man, I love that song because it's so true. Because God can make a way out of no way. And it's just crazy. But yeah, that's what I pray for, because there's nothing more powerful than understanding.
No doubt.
There's nothing more powerful than expanding your perspective. Because once you expand your perspective, then you have the power to tell other people and talk to other people about that perspective. And you have the capability then to impact them further. Because when you talk to people, you can't fully impact their perspective if you don't know what they're feeling. If you don't know what they're feeling. Because I know that I've hit a lot of walls talking to some people because I didn't know what they were going through. I wasn't the person that was supposed to have that conversation with them in that moment. Because I didn't have the experiences, I didn't have enough of the experiences and the perspective to really know how to talk to them. But then when you do have the perspective and the experiences to talk to someone who has had those same experiences as you, then you are equipped to have a productive conversation in which you can really provide hope and just provide them with a newfound perspective that goes along with that hope. Because they could be, like I said earlier, in the middle of a storm, and they won't know that they're going to make it through maybe until somebody comes to them and says, hey, I used to sit right here in this spot in that storm. I pitched my tent right here. But then I packed everything up and I kept moving. God told me to keep moving. And I made it out. And I came back here to pick you up, to tell you that you're capable of this, and I'm going to be right here with you. And just being able to pull them out of where they are.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was in that storm, I would have wanted the same thing out of somebody else. But I wouldn't have trusted anybody that didn't know what I was dealing with. The people that I trusted the most were the people that I could relate to.
Yeah.
Because it was like I was talking to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I was getting introspective feedback that wasn't my own. So it wasn't just me telling myself, you're not good enough, you can't get through this. It was somebody else, almost like with my knowledge, saying, you are good enough. You will get through this. There is a purpose in this. So yeah.
For sure.
Short sweet for that one.
Well, there's a follow-up, and it's
Okay.
when was the last time you felt like if you have a story behind a prayer that was answered, for yourself?
Yeah. God would use me to impact someone's life like that. I guess my story's still going for that because a couple years ago, I was really in a deep dark place, but I was gradually moving out of it as I started to trust God more. And I was praying every time I prayed, I was like, God, use me. Just use me as a vessel for what you have in store for me. Use me to really impact other people who feel like this. Because I don't want other people to ever have to feel like this. I want them to know that you're out there, that despite any times that they may not feel confident in themselves, or they may not love themselves, they may not feel like anybody else is, capable of loving them, that there's a God who loves them. There's a God that's willing to lay down the line for them. That he literally took a beating and died nailed to a rugged cross for them. A lowly sinner. Because we're awesome. And that's so I prayed that. And the person that was preaching at our church that day, he came up to me. Well, not that day because I said it was constant prayer, but there was one service where he came up to me and it was a powerful service. Like the Spirit of God was moving in that place. And he came over and prayed with me and he spoke. And I knew it was God speaking through him because he said, you're gonna make I'm gonna use you. And this was like literally using the words that I use. He said, I'm gonna use you and you have a greater purpose and you just have to trust in me. And I fell out. I bawled my eyes out because I knew in that moment that everything was going to shift. Everything was going to change. That was the moment that really defined where my journey went from this to this.
I got you.
So that was the prayer that God answered, and like I said, it's still being answered today because I'm still learning how I'm really going to be capable of impacting people and really bringing that purpose to life. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing, man.
Yeah, of course.
So we made it to the concluding portion of the podcast. Just got a few more questions for you. This next question is actually from my previous guest. Shout out to Christine for the question. And let's see, maybe it's really specific. So if it's not something that you do, then just let me know. But her question is, what is your favorite board game?
My favorite board game? Man, I don't like board games.
That's why I said it was kind of specific, man. It had to be like, somebody's into it.
It's funny though. It's funny though. Like, my parents are always trying to get me to play board games. I got to a point where I got burnt out. But if I had to pick, I would say chess.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm a strategic thinker.
For sure. Are you a little cutthroat about it, or you don't take it too hard? Like, are you competitive at it, where you like if you feel like super down if you lose, or
No, no. When I take losses these days, I'm like, okay, I learned from this. I'm gonna do better next time.
Nah,
that's the mindset I like to have.
I feel you.
Yeah, no, I don't even play. I don't even get to play that often because a lot of people, they're like, you're gonna beat me anyways. I'm like,
how do you know?
My mom in 4 moves, 3 times in a row. I was like, Mom, play me some chess. She was like, you're gonna win. I was like, no, I won't. And I was like, checkmate.
do you know you know that strategy, the 4-move checkmate?
Yeah.
I got you.
That's how we do.
All right, man. My next question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on?
What would I like to ask the next guest? Let's make this a good one. So what I would like to ask the next guest
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, late. Is it would you be happy with yourself if you were to look from the perspective of yourself 5 years ago?
Would you be happy with yourself
If you were to look from the perspective of yourself 5 years ago. So would you be happy with who you are now if you were looking through the eyes of who you were 5 years ago?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that, where would you be in 5 years? But it's taking it back and saying, you've gotten past 5 years. Now, are you happy with it?
Oh, I got you. How about for yourself? How would you answer that?
For myself?
Yeah.
I would be overjoyed with the person that I am right now. Because 5 years ago, I was a mess. I was a little jerk kid. Like, literally, completely different person. I mean, energetic-wise, let's say. But let's see, 5 years ago, it was 2021. 5 years ago would have been 2016. Yeah, first year of high school. Man, first year of high school, I was a completely different person altogether. But the person I am right now, I really think that my younger self would be proud of who he saw through that lens. Because I've grown to be a lot wiser than just walking in the classroom and saying 2 + 2 is 5. Like, there's so much more that I'm capable of understanding in those 5 years. So.
For sure. And the final question, man, the question that ties everything together on this podcast is, what would you like your descendants to know about you? So 500 years from now, your great grandchildren, nieces, nephews, what would you like them to know about you?
Man, I would want them to know that I made a difference in people's perspectives. I would want them to know that I was a good man. I'm not a father yet, but I would want them to know that I was a good father. Another huge goal of mine is to end up having a family.
Yeah.
But then I would want them to know that I was honest with myself and honest with the people that I was trying to impact.
Sure.
Like I said, I don't want to put myself on a pedestal. I just want to spread the message.
No doubt. Well, Jack, we made it to the end of the podcast. Just want to thank you again for coming on. I thought this conversation went great. Want to thank all the folks out there listening, checking out the video or the audio. Appreciate your time as well. Before we head out, Jack, you got any last things to say? Anything to add?
Man, nothing in particular. No, man. I really appreciated this conversation. Like, this was great. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be and more. So, I mean, I appreciate you. I appreciate this opportunity to really get my word out there. You're awesome, man. You're awesome for doing this. Like, this is an awesome thing. This podcast, getting the perspectives of all these people that you reached out to. It's amazing. I applaud you on that. It's an impact.
Well, thank you, Jack. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to figure out my own way of making my own little impact, and right now this seems to be the best way I can do it. And I appreciate you letting me interview you, and I'm sure this story will impact your people and even people you don't know once they get a chance to check it out. So it all comes together, and I can't do it alone. So I thank you and everybody else that comes on for sure. Much love. Still trying to figure out the best way to sign off on these things, but